Us. All right. I'm going to talk about stress today. I know it's Friday and everyone's like, Friday weekend. But I want to talk about chronic stress, which is something that we don't talk about enough, I don't think. And I want to talk about a way to recognize if we might be in chronic stress and what that looks like, and then what we can do about it to get out of it. Because I'm going to tell you that I didn't know at one point in my life that I was in a state of chronic stress. Had no idea. No idea. So if you are new here and you're watching from YouTube, go ahead and click on the subscribe button so that you make sure to get notifications whenever our videos pop up. And there's also a little bell down there. That's the thing that actually gives you the notification. Just click that bell on. It'll let you know whenever we go live, and you can catch some of our weekly trainings. We've got about 3 a week. So, all right, my name is Gwen, and I am on a mission to help women take control over the life that they have, right? To design a life that they are in love with, and a life that they desire. And knowing when you're in a state of chronic stress is an important part of that, because a lot of the world is in a state of chronic stress, right? A lot of the world is there right now. And we need each other. We need each other. So let's talk about it. How do you know what a normal amount of stress looks like? Is there a normal amount of stress? Like, is that a thing, right? Or maybe are you minimizing stress because it's easier than doing something about it? I want to talk about 3 signs that your body might be in chronic stress, and then 3 things that you can do about it starting today. Because let me tell you a little story. Here I was a couple of years ago, not loving my job. I had 2 kids under 3. I had a firefighter husband who was almost never home. And I was thinking, well, it makes sense that I'm tired and my eyes are puffy because I have a lot of stuff going on. Was I overly stressed? Like, would I have categorized myself as being stressed? Not really. Did my job stress me out? Yeah. Did certain things stress me out, right? Have you ever said to yourself, well, that stresses me out? Yes. Did I think that my life was stressed? No. Did I think that I could have even possibly been in a state of chronic stress and that's why my body was giving me these signs? Absolutely not. Have you ever typed stress or like stressed out into the Google bar? Like, done a search for stress and looked at the images that pop up. 9 times out of 10, it's like the guy that's pulling his hair out, or like, right, making that face, or like the person who's sitting like this. That's like what you see often in stress images depicted to us. You see moms in the kitchen, like trying to cook and kids pulling at their feet, right? There's like this image of stress that society has blanketed on us. But I want to open your eyes to a couple of things that maybe we're not realizing about what stress can actually look like. Because if we don't acknowledge it, then we're not going to find a way to get out of it. The truth is that the stereotypical signs or the stereotypical images of stress is actually what's stopping us, or what's stopping many of us from recognizing the signs, right? Because if we think it looks like this, but it can actually look like this, well, we won't recognize it when it looks like this, and then we're just going to burn out. So there I was, right? Not thinking I was in a state of stress on a constant, but had little things that were stressing me out. I just didn't think that they came together until the physical symptoms started to show up. Now, I don't know if any of you were around with me then, but I got conjunctivitis. But then after I got conjunctivitis, and I kid you not, it was the worst form of conjunctivitis I've ever had in my life. And I would get conjunctivitis often. I mean, like normal, like as a kid, right? So I was used to it. I knew the signs. I knew exactly when it would start. My daughter had it from daycare, and then she gave it to me. But you guys, unlike any other form of conjunctivitis, the drops did not work for me. And I was like, what is going on? And after the conjunctivitis cleared, I had this puffiness to my eyes. All underneath my eyes would fill with fluid. So much so like that it looked like someone punched me in the face. And I'm a healer. Like I'm a naturopathic person. I'm an aromatherapist. I'm a healer. I know how to heal these things. I know how to use my tips and my tools and my tricks and all the things that come from Mother Nature to help me get back to health. And all these things were not working. And that's when I was like, something is going on, right? These were the obvious signs. These were my body. This was my body talking to me. Because, at that point, I knew I had to see someone. So I want to help you identify the things before this happens to you, because there's some obvious signs that your body might be in chronic stress mode and you're just pushing it down and you're pushing it down and you're pushing it down, or you are like a generator by human design and you just are not paying attention to that because you're just so gung-ho on getting your things accomplished and doing your things, or you're just super type A and you just are like, this is life, I just accept it, but it's not. Until your body goes, nope, we're not doing this anymore, okay? Like, we're not doing this anymore. Here's some eczema, here's some chronic headaches, here's migraines. How about a little bit of extra weight around your midsection? That's what you get for ignoring me, right? Like that's our body going, no, like you're not going to ignore me anymore, right? Here's the thing. Chronic stress can happen in the absence of an obvious source of stress. That's confusing, isn't it? You're like, well, how am I chronically stressed if there's not an obvious source of stress? Here's what chronic stress can look like. Let's talk about it. Chronic stress can look like a 35-year-old woman who used to be able to lay her head down to sleep, fall asleep quickly with no problems, who now lies awake at night, wishing she could get to sleep before. Okay? And she's like, nothing's changed in my life. Why can't I sleep like I did before? That's what chronic stress can look like. How about a young man, let's say a man in his 30s or 40s, who recently started to feel bloated after eating food that he's always eaten, and his doctor tells him that absolutely nothing is wrong with him, and now just avoid the foods that bother you. Chronic stress can look like that. How about a mom who can't seem to lose the baby weight, has hired a trainer, has done everything short of starving herself, but still struggles with the extra weight around the midsection? That's what chronic stress can look like. How about a young mom who develops fluid and inflammation under her eyes, as well as extreme dry spots all over her face? All her typical remedies are not working. No matter how much she sleeps, the bags don't go away. That's what chronic stress can look like. Okay? Things like sleep disruption, feeling unrewarded at work, having no one to lean on, not eating well. All of these things can lead to chronic stress, but them themselves, like you might not categorize having no one to lean on as a stressful event, right? Like that might not be something that pulls it into your radar to be like, oh my God, maybe I am chronically stressed. What happens when the body produces these stress hormones on a regular basis is they affect the entire body. So we're talking about the immune system, the digestive system, the musculoskeletal system, and the nervous system. All right, so if you're like, oh crap, okay, I can see where this is going. Maybe I am in chronic stress. Now what? Now what do we do about it? Okay, I'm gonna give you 3 things that you can do that are what I figured out how to do. And took a little bit of time for me to figure it out. I waited too long. There's no such thing as too long. Well, I guess there is. I waited a long time to even admit or realize that something was chronically wrong in my body. So here's what you need to do. If you want to address what's going on, see someone first and foremost, okay? I don't mean an MD. And the reason why I say that, and it's I don't mean any ill will by that comment. I just mean like an MD is someone that you would go to if you're like, hi, I broke my arm. What do we do about it? Like, this is quite obviously what's going on, right? A naturopathic doctor is going to look at your whole body and how everything functions together. So when I saw my naturopathic doctor, she looked at my eyes, she looked at all my symptoms, we talked about my food, we talked about my exercise, we talked about my relationship. She sat down with me for 2 hours to go through my entire body, because there's no way that you're going to know what's going on with your body unless you see someone who can evaluate your entire body and how it all works together. Because remember, chronic stress affects every single body system. See someone who understands the connection between all the functioning parts of your body. Okay, that's the first thing. Let's just touch also quickly on naturopathic doctors. Some people avoid doing that because they're afraid that they're expensive. Call someone, ask them, right? Do you take insurance? If you don't take insurance, what's the cost for me to be seen? Sorry, a lot of naturopathic doctors take HSAs. So ask the questions, but don't stop yourself from getting help just because you think it might be too expensive, okay? Number 2, these are 2 of the biggest actions that I took that really, really helped me get through this state of chronic stress and heal my whole body. Diet and exercise. Every single person can eat good food, can make the choice to eat good food to nourish their body, okay? Everyone here who's watching this has access to good food. And if you don't, then here's what I'm going to tell you. Whatever you're watching this on, if it's a computer or a phone and you don't have access to good food, you're going to go sell your computer or phone and you're going to buy good food with it. That's just how important good food is to your body. If you can afford to have a computer or a phone, but you can't afford to have good food, sell it. Get good food. That is so important for your body. I have a link for you guys. I'll put it in the comments when we're done, on a book, Eating for Your Blood Type. Every blood type is different and responds differently to food. Hi, give me 5 minutes. I'll be right there, okay? I don't know. You're going to have to find her. Okay, I'll be right there. Don't let them in. Eating for your blood type. So important to understand how your blood type interacts with different foods. Same thing with exercise. So I found out that I was stressing my body too much. Remember we talked about how chronic stress can affect your entire nervous system? If you're exercising so heavily, like I was doing CrossFit 5 days a week. It was too much for my body right then. It was too much. And so I needed to do more things like yoga or Pilates or a less stress form of exercise because my body could not handle it at the moment. Okay, and that's what a naturopathic doctor is going to help you figure out too. But diet and exercise, you can at least go outside and walk, right? Most of us can do that. Of course, there are certain situations where you can't, but diet and exercise are huge. I was overstimulating my body with too much exercise where my body was already overstimulated, and it was just creating this big, giant crap pile of chronic stress. The third thing, you're going to have to write it down. Okay, we can say gratitude journal. We can talk about just a regular journal. We can talk about anything, but I want you to literally have pen and paper, and I want you to sit down and evaluate what you want your life to look like. So here on the left side of the paper, make a list of the things that you don't like about your life right now. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your food. Whatever you don't like about what's going on in your life right now, write it down on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I want you to write down what you want your life to look like. What do you want, right? Because the parts of your life that you don't love are putting you in chronic stress. They might not be obvious signs, but they are a contributing factor for sure. Maybe you want financial stability or better relationships, a career you love, a community to connect to, more fun. Dream it, write it down, and then put it where you can see it. Maybe that list is something you go through every single night, right? If you're not sure where to start, let me point you in a great direction. You're going to fill out the wheel of life. And this is basically a wheel that allows you to answer a couple of questions in the 7 key areas of life to see where you might be more stressed or where the areas of life are that are causing you more stress. I'll put that link in the comments. It's called the wheel. You're going to fill out the wheel. And of course, if you get through these and you want some daily action steps that will help you push the needle forward on loving your life and falling in love with your life, then come join our signature 28 to Elevate challenge. Like that's the thing that pushes the needle forward and gives you daily action steps if you have absolutely nowhere to start. Like if you don't know where to start, this is going to push you forward through that. I will give you a link for that so you can join it. It is free. It's 28 days. These are the things that are going to push you forward on making the changes towards the rest of your life, right? So chronic stress doesn't always look like stress. And sometimes it's hard to differentiate. But I would be willing to bet that most of you are in a state of chronic stress and don't know it or don't know how to get out. I hope that some of these things can help you because I want you feeling good. I want you having the realization that I had that was like, oh my gosh, these things in my life are not bringing me joy and I need to change that right now because I live once. And when chronic stress is physically showing up in your body, that's your body finally saying, hello, hey, I'm over here. Like, we've got to do something about this. It is not too late to start. I will put the link for the challenge in my comments and in the top of this video so you guys can grab it and join it. We have a wonderful community of people who are working together to do these same things with you. If you're already in there in that community and 28 to Elevate has done something great for you, we would love to hear about your transformation. We'd love to hear about the steps that are pushing you forward, okay? Otherwise, it is Friday, you guys. Go get your life, right? Go get your life without chronic stress because it is possible. You are rock stars and you get to design the life that you love and the life that you desire. I love you. Have a great weekend.